This weekend, Andre Ward takes on Edwin Rodriguez. His title's on the line, and this is an interesting fight. Before I begin with giving you my thoughts, let me just bring your attention to a video here on YouTube. Fight Hub TV posted the press conference for this fight. I think it's worth a watch. Give it a watch. It is interesting, particularly around the 10-minute mark when they actually, we see Andre Ward speak. Andre Ward in the past, he is accused of being a bit boring, and interviews he doesn't really probably open up as much as many of us would like. If there's a few guys like that, but I felt here he really gave a good, valuable insight into the mind of a pound-for-pound boxer. If you want to know like the mindset of a guy who's really at the top of his game, possibly why he's at the top of his game, I really do suggest you watch that and hear what he has to say. One of the main things that the Rodriguez camp has been saying about this fight, one of their main reasons why they think they have a big chance, is because of the layoff that Andre Ward has had, and because he's had surgery on the right shoulder. They think they're getting him at the right time, etc, etc. Andre Ward acknowledges this, and he actually goes on to say why that's not going to be a factor. The fact that he says he's actually known about Rodriguez for up to 3 years now, and that he's always got his ear to the news of and what's happening in boxing. And anyone in and around his weight class, he says that he actually, he knows about this stuff. He keeps up to date with this stuff. He's not tunnel vision. A lot of boxers are tunnel vision. They see their career and that's all it is. They don't really pay much attention to those outside of their immediate plans. But here we see, one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world, explaining that he actually does keep an eye on up-and-coming talent, as well as those in his immediate vicinity, which I think was very interesting. Back to the boxing of this, the actual in-the-ring value of this fight. It's interesting because Rodriguez is unbeaten, and Rodriguez, I've been keeping up with him for a while now as well, probably the last 3 years, 4 years myself, just keeping an eye on his fights and taking a bit of an interest in, what he's doing, because I thought, this is an up-and-coming unbeaten fighter, how far will he go? And he has a reputation of being a power puncher, and his main asset is his offense, his attack. He's very skilled in attack, in terms of he puts pressure on you, he's relentless, he throws damaging punches. He throws vicious punches, vindictive punches. He throws to hurt. This guy doesn't throw punches for the sake of it. He doesn't really throw punches trying to set things up. He goes out there to really hurt you and to break you down and destroy you. And one of the things he said in the press conference is he's going to try and break Andre Ward's will. He's going to try and break him down. He's going to try and mentally affect him so much through his physical pressure, that he ends up, I guess his plan is to stop Andre Ward, is to hurt him so much that he ends up, Andre Ward can't continue. And he throws good variety of shots. He likes to go to the body well, and he puts good length on his punches, meaning that he does use his full reach at times if needs be. And he makes the most of the reach that he has, because some of the punches you see him throwing, he really extends the arms, he really extends, he puts his full body through them. That's probably where he gets his power from. It's quite difficult at times to get away from a shot like that. If you're a fighter who sort of like moves back in defence and is more of a reflex type guy, and you're not trying to block punches but you're trying to step out the way, this guy's got a good, he's got a surprising reach, and I think he catches a few people out with that. That he extends the punch and he catches them when they're not expecting it. So they think they're out of range, but they're not. Look at his last, I think it was his last fight against Denis Grachev. You'll see that type of punching that I'm talking about. And he got him out there in 1 round. You know, he's got a decent jab as well. You know, he's not just a one-trick pony. He's not just a guy who has, you know, just smothers you and that's all he has. He does have a jab, so he can, when he wants to, set up some shots. But he doesn't tend to do it sort of like the jab followed by a right hand type thing. He tends to do it that he jabs, and then all of a sudden, instead of the jab, he'll go in with a flurry, you know, combination of punches. And he doesn't tend to mix the two. He doesn't tend to mix up the jab with the power punches, from what I've seen anyway. You know, maybe that's something he's gonna have worked on. However, he does. You know, here's the bad part. He does leave himself open. He can get a bit wild. You know, there's always going to be risk for these type of fighters. You know, they're good going forward, but they do neglect and leave their defence vulnerable. And this is something that I believe may cause him to come unstuck in this fight. Moving on to Andre Ward. Basically, there's been talk that having the surgery on the right shoulder, which he's had a problem with that since he was about 12 years old, and that's what he's attributing to they're saying has made him such a one-handed fighter, with that left hand being predominant. They're saying now that because they've had this sort of cure, if you like, that his right hand is going to be just as effective, pretty much just as effective as his left hand. So he's going to be more of a two-handed guy. And this, if it's true, is very bad news for any opponent, really. And I think that, as per usual, which is to be expected, Andre Ward is more technically gifted than Edwin Rodriguez. And I think that he's going to set traps for Rodriguez. I think he's going to sort of suss Rodriguez out a bit to start with, and then he's really going to try and see the pattern. You know, he's going to try and work out the pattern of Rodriguez's work. He's going to lay traps, and then he's going to pounce. He's going to possibly counterpunch. He's going to use all the tricks in the book if needs be, and he's going to really try and catch Rodriguez coming in, possibly. That would be my guess. And I think he'll end up probably hurting Rodriguez, because Ward's not really known for his power, not as much as Rodriguez is, but he is known for his ring savvy and his cleverness, and sometimes that overrides power. You know, your power comes when you pick the right shots, and Andre Ward does that. I think more recently, you know, we saw the fight against like Chad Dawson, and I think that power is going to be evident. I think he's really tried to work on that power. I think it's something that he felt was missing from his game, and if he's trying to be, you know, an all-rounded fighter and maintain being at the top of the division, I think you have to work on your weaknesses, and I think that power is something that Ward is looked at and tried to capitalise, you know, improve. And I think that you know, we mustn't write off the fact that Ward can hurt this guy. You know, Rodriguez hasn't really fought. Well, he's never fought anyone as good as Andre Ward. That goes without saying. But you know, in terms of levels, this is a completely other level for him. You know, he's not really fought anyone. I wouldn't say close to the level. He's fought guys like Don George, but you know, this is a real step up. This is something, and he admits this in that press conference that I alluded to. He does say that he basically says this is a step up. You know, he has the hunger. This is a step up for him, but he's ready to take that. So basically, what I'm getting at here is, I think that early on it's very interesting, because I think Rodriguez's best chance is to jump on Andre Ward after such a long layoff, try and pounce on him, pressurise him, make him very uncomfortable, stop him getting any rhythm or being able to, you know, just try and overwhelm his senses to start with. Very difficult to do, I know, but it's something he's going to have to try. And try and land some blows, you know, try and test his power out and see what happens. That's probably his best chance. You know, he's not going to outbox this guy. It's just not going to happen. You know, I think that may happen, but I think Ward is savvy enough and has enough ring smarts to deal with that. And I think that in the end, come the middle of the fight, middle to late rounds, we're going to see Andre Ward's going to possibly catch Rodriguez and hurt him, and I think that Ward will eventually get that stoppage win. It could go the distance, but I'm going to bank on Andre Ward getting a stoppage here, because I think that Rodriguez is the type of guy you can try and run from him all fight, but I think it'll be easier for Andre Ward to really run for a bit. But then at some point he's going to have to stop this guy. He's going to have to show this guy, listen, you're going to get hurt if you keep doing this. I'm not just going to let you off the hook all the fight and just go for the decision. Because Rodriguez could come forward and land a good punch at any time, and it's dangerous for a running fighter, or for a fighter who will be maybe on the back foot. Don't be surprised if Andre Ward turns this round. If he uses his technique and his ring smarts to turn this round so that he's on the front foot halfway through the fight. Don't be surprised if you see that. But I'm going for mid to late stoppage for Andre Ward. But interesting fight because Rodriguez is, La Bomba. He, as his alias suggests, he has power, and he is dangerous, and he's undefeated. And I think this is a good fight to be happening, particularly since Andre Ward's coming off a little bit of a layoff. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope I haven't bored you for too long, and I hope you enjoyed this fight, and please let me know what you guys think about this fight. Yeah, enjoy it. Thanks for watching.